A pleasant day to each and everyone. We the Group 6 will be discussing about Module 6, the computing components, processors, memory, the cloud, and more. By the way, I'm Marjorie M. Reminal, the group leader, and the following are my group mates: ACK Aranas, Shen Queni Elento, Jonabel Corsino, John Kylo Martison, and Giselle Kyla Trinidad. These are the objectives. After completing this module, we will be able to describe the various computer and mobile device cases and the contents they protect, describe multi-core processors, the components of a processor, and the 4 steps in a machine cycle, identify characteristics of various personal computer processors on the market today, and describe the ways processors are called, describe what is meant by the Internet of Things, explain the advantages and services of cloud computing, define a bit, and describe how a series of bits represents data, explain how program and application instructions transfer in and out of memory, differentiate among the various types of memory, RAM, cache, ROM, flash memory, and CMOS, describe the purpose of adapter cards and USB adapters, explain the function of a bus, explain the purpose of a power supply and batteries, and last, describe how to care for computers and mobile devices. Inside the case. This picture shows the components are. Inside each of these devices case, it contains and protects the electronics of the computer and mobile device from damage. These are the cases which are made of metal or plastic and available to sa mga variety shapes and sizes. Desktop tower case which have chassis cover. Ito yung mga all set na computer, mala personal man yan or in office computer. Normally, nag-occupy siya ng space outside the system unit and may kita rin natin kung papaano pinoprotektahan ng chassis yung electronics sa loob ng computer, how they function and etc. And kailangan rin natin mag-ingat kapag mag-assemble and disassemble tayo dito kasi delikado ito gawin kapag hindi tayo familiar sa system unit. All-in-one desktop case which is nasa monitor na nakalagay lahat ng protected components ng isang system unit. Laptop case which is pareho lang rin siya ng monitor pero sa likod na ng keyboard nakalagay yung mga components. State tablet case which may kita na naman natin na nasa likod rin siya ng screen nakalagay. Same with smartphone case and handheld game device case. And last, convertible tablet case, game console case, wearable device case, and digital camera case which is halos nasa likod lang rin nakalagay. Typical components in a higher-end desktop and laptop. At some point, kapag binubuksan na natin yung system unit or laptop, ito yung mga may kita natin. Both of them, pareho lang naman sila ng components. Ang pinagkaiba lang nila is yung lalagyan. The sound card and circuitry which nagko-connect sa inside and outside cord ng computer. Power supply, dyan kumukuha ng electronic power para gumana yung computer. Same sa battery ng laptop. Hard disk, the storage device. Heat sink and fan na nagbibigay cooling method. Memory slot, which is nagdadala ng unit byte at nagbabasa ng program sa lahat ng devices. And last, processor, which is the brain of all devices that receives instructions from program memory. Pagtapos nating magbalik-aral dito, mahalaga ring alam natin yung mga securing components ng computers and mobile devices. Marami sa atin ngayon ang gumagamit ng mga devices na to, kaya para mas magdoble ingat tayo, ito yung mga sumusunod na dapat ihanda natin kapag nandyan na yung sakuna. Una, clamps, cables, and locks. Lock kits including mounting plates, glue cables, and padlocks na nagpoprotect sa desktops, monitors, laptops, and peripheral devices. Next, intrusion deduction. Alam naman nating usong-uso na ngayon ng nakawan, kaya minsan di na inaalis ng mga magnanakaw yung mismong computer sa lugar na pinagnanakawan nila. Sa halip, ino-open na lang nila yung case ng desktop or server on-site at kinukuha yung mga other expensive components tulad ng hard drive na pwedeng ibenta sa malaking halaga. Para maiwasan natin ang manakawan, maraming manufacturers ang nagdevelop ng alarm system na ini-install na lang sa case ng computer. Kapag ang computer ay nagalaw or binubuksan ng di alam ng may-ari, automatic na mag-a-alarm yung system unit sa tulong ng ear-piercing alarm and security para ma-alarma lahat. Pangatlo, tracking software. Maraming smartphones and mobile devices ang meron ng software na nagpapakita ng approximate location ng devices at computers. Kapag nawala ito, pwedeng makita, mapalitan, at mabura ng may-ari kung ano man yung laman ng devices na iyon, especially mga personal information. Pang-apat, asset tags. Familiar naman tayo sa mga unique barcodes, 'di ba? Para mas ma-secure natin yung mga devices natin, mas magandang i-register natin ito gamit ang barcodes para in case na mawala or manakaw and maibalik na sa atin tas wala nang laman, pwede pa natin itong ma-recover. Gamit yung barcodes, manonotify yung software na gamit mo na nasa tunay ng may-ari yung nawawalang device. Kaya pwede na nilang ibalik lahat ng files and personal information na nawala doon. And last, personal safes. Syempre, para mas safe lahat ng gagamitin natin, kailangan nakalagay lang ito sa isang lalagyan. Make sure na mahigpit yung security natin patungkol dito kasi di biro gumastos sa safety tools ng computer. Lahat ng tungkol sa computer ay mahal yung presyo. Kaya para di mawala lahat ng mga importanteng bagay, maging organized tayo at ilagay ito sa hindi pansining side ng bahay para walang magtangkang kumuha. Next, the motherboard. The motherboard, sometimes called a system board, is the main circuit board of the computer. Many electronic components such as the processor and memory attach to the motherboard. Others are built into it. Sa personal computers, the circuitry or electric circuits collectively for the processor, memory, and components, lahat ng ito ay naninirahan sa computer chips. A computer chip. It is a small piece of something semiconducting material, usually silicon, on which integrated circuits are etched. Dito na pumapasok ang integrated circuit kung saan dumadaloy ang microscopic pathways na nagdadala ng electrical current. Each integrated circuit can contain millions of elements such as resistors, capacitors, and transistors. A transistors, for example, can act as an electronic switch that opens or closes the circuit for electrical charges. Today's computer contains millions or billions of transistors. Most chips are no bigger than 1/2 inch square. Kaya the manufacturers package the chips so that chips can be attached to a circuit board such as a motherboard. Processors. The processors, also called the Central Processing Unit or CPU, interprets and carries out the basic instructions that operate a computer. The processor significantly impacts overall computing power and manages most of a computer's operations. Sa madaling salita, ang processors ang pinakautak ng computer. Kaya sa mga larger computers katulad ng mainframes and supercomputers, mostly, nagpa-function dito yung mga processors na extended separate chips and multiple circuit boards. While sa personal computers naman, karamihan dito ang ginagamit ay single chips lang. Some computers and chips manufacturers use the term microprocessor to refer to a personal computer processor chip. Ito ang examples ng processor or simply core at multi-core processor. Kung makikita natin, pareho pa rin sila ng itsura, pero upgraded lang itong multi-core. Kaya sa ngayon, ito na ang halos nire-recommend ng mga manufacturers kasi single chip lang siya, pero dalawa o higit pang separate processor cores ang nilalaman niya. And mas convenient siyang gamitin kasi pwede siya sa lahat ng sizes ng computer. While sa simple processor, ganoon pa rin siya, upgraded version lang talaga niya itong multi-core. Merong dalawang components ang processors. Ito yung control unit and arithmetic logic unit or ALU. The control unit. The control unit is the component of the processor that directs and coordinates most of the operations in the computer. Ito yung nag-i-interpret sa mga instruction issued by a program or application and then initiates the appropriate action to carry out the instruction. While in arithmetic logic unit or ALU, ito naman yung nagpa-perform ng arithmetic, comparison, and other operations sa computer. Nakapaloob dito yung arithmetic operations kung saan naglalaman ito ng basic calculation tulad ng addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Then, comparison operations kung saan naglalaman ito ng pagkukumpara sa isang data item sa ibang data item para ma-determine kung saan sa dalawang data yung greater than, equal to, or less than 2 ang tamang sagot. Dito na pumapasok ang machine cycle na magbibigay sa atin ng instructions kung papaano nagagawa ng processor ang computations sa loob ng computer. Meron itong 4 sets of basic operations. Ito ang first, fetching is the process of obtaining a program or an application instruction or data item from memory. Second, decoding. That refers to the process of translating the instruction into signals the computer can execute. Third, executing, that process of carrying out the commands. And if necessary, the last, storing, that means writing the result to memory. Para mas madali nating maintindihan yung 4 basic operations ng machine cycle, these are the steps to determine it. Step 1. By the help of fetching, i-input natin yung calculation by using the application of computer to read it by the control unit. Then step 2, mag-code na ito to read the calculation by control unit and send it to ALU or arithmetic logic unit. And step 3, after nating ma-execute or ma-perform ito ng ALU sa data, dito na lalabas yung step 4. Ibig sabihin, makukuha na natin yung results of calculation na mag-a-appear sa screen ng computer. And that is the result of the calculation that's stored in the memory. Paulit-ulit lang itong ginagawa ng processor and memory dahil sila yung mostly nagtutulungan to function the inside and out of the operating system. Next reporter, please.
Registers. A processor contains a small, high-speed storage location called registers that temporarily hold data instruction. Register function including storing the location from where an instruction was fetched, storing an instruction while the control unit decodes it, storing data while the ALU calculates it, and storing the result of a calculation. Register is also known as memory register, meaning siya yung nagsisilbing memory para mas madali and mas mabilis yung pag-accept, pag-store, and pag-transfer ng data pati na rin lahat ng instruction that are being used immediately by the CPU. Ang register din ang responsible na mag-execute ng programs and operations sa pinakamaayos na paraan. Next is paano nga ba nag-work ang registers? Register work under the direction of the control unit to accept, hold, and transfer instruction or data and perform arithmetic or logical comparison at high speed. Meaning, kailangan muna ng direction from the control unit before register make an action. Now, we will go to the different types of registers. First is the MAR. MAR register or the memory address register. The CPU or control processing unit widely use the memory address register to read any type of data or store any type of data. Ang pinaka-purpose ng register na ito is to handle the address transferred to the memory unit. And sa paanong paraan nga ba pwedeng mag-handle ito? It's either using a bus approach or maybe the direct input declaration for the memory. Second one is the MDR or the memory data register. Ang pinaka-function ng memory data register is to act as buffer na kung saan pwedeng ma-store lahat ng nakafeed galing sa computer memory. Ang memory data register din ang nag-store ng lahat ng data, meaning dumadaan muna dito lahat ng data bago ito ma-transfer sa decoder. The third one is the MVR register or the memory buffer register. The memory buffer register is used to store information and data that can be read or write in the computer memory. Memory buffer register din ang nagkikeep sa contents that is found at the address held in the MAR or the memory address register. And after that, the data will be transferred to the main memory. Ang difference ng MAR and MBR ay ang MBR ay ginagamit upang mas mapabilis yung pagtatransfer ng data at para maiwasan yung pagsasabay ng faster device or sa lower device or yung tinatawag na mismatch. Kasi if ever na mangyari yan, magkakaroon ng problema sa pagtatransfer ng data to another device. The fourth one is the PC register or the program counter register na tinatawag din instruction address register or instruction counter. Ang program counter register ay ginagamit to store address of immediate instruction that need to be executed next. Next is the accumulator register. Is another type of central processing unit register that is widely used for storing the logic or intermediate result. Ito yung nagsisilbing pansamantalang storage na kung saan nandito yung mga intermediate value in mathematical and logical calculation. Dahil sa madali nga siya nakakapag-store ng mga intermediate results. Importante to dahil if ever na may intermediate result na kailangan agad ma-store sa main memory, then it will increase the overhead in the memory. Naka-increase din siya ng mga hindi masyadong importante or kailangan ng mga reads and writes operation na naka-stored sa main memory. Next is the index register. Ang index register ay isang circuit na kung saan ito yung nagre-receive, nag-stores, and other output instruction. Ito yung ginagamit in doing array or vector operation. The last one is the instruction register. Ang instruction register ay part ng CPU control unit na kung saan siya yung humahawak ng mga current instruction that are being executed and decoded. Then, ang instruction register uses to hold the opcode na magde-define ng type of instruction. System clock. The processor relies on a small quartz crystal circuit called the system clock to control the timing of all computer operation, just as your heartbeat at a regular rate to keep your body functioning. The system clock generates regular electronic pulse or ticks that set the operating pace of a components of the system unit. In order to synchronize of all the computer operation, we need a system clock. Ang system clock ay may kita sa motherboard. Ang system clock ang nagsisend out ng signal on a regular basis patungo sa lahat ng components ng computer and para ito ay mag-function in a proper way. Dahil nagpa-function lang ang computer components if the clock is high. Parang heartbeat nga lang talaga ng tao. Mas nagiging active ang isang tao pag normal o regular rate yung heartbeat niya. Pag nasa low yung heartbeat niya, mas mababa yung posibilidad na makagawa or maka-accomplish siya ng task ng maayos. And because the clock speed is set about the longest time, any signal needs to propagate through any circuit on the board. This system is preventing signals from arriving before other signals are ready and thus keep everything safe and synchronized. System clock may tinatawag na clock cycle and clock speed. Clock cycle. Each tick equates to a clock cycle. It is the amount of time between two pulses. Tinatawag din ang clock cycle as clock tick. Ang clock speed ay ang pace of the system clock. Ito ang nagme-measure ng number of ticks per second. Computer and mobile device processor. Ano nga ba ang processor? Ang processor, also known as CPU or the Control Processing Unit, ito ang nagpo-provide ng instructions and especially the processing power na kinakailangan ng computer para mag-function. The more na powerful and more updated yung processor na meron yung computer natin, the more din na mas mabilis and mas marami yung makukomplete nito na task. Personal computer processor. The leading manufacturers of personal computer processor chips are Intel and AMD. AMD manufactures Intel-compatible processor, which have an internal design similar to Intel processor, perform the same function, and can be as powerful but often are less expensive. Intel at AMD ang pinaka-common na ginagamit sa personal computer. AMD and Intel produce motherboard which are the circuit at the base of all personal computers. AMD and Intel also create CPU or Central Processing Unit chips for the personal computer. In choosing the right processor, itong dalawa yung pinagbabatehan. The difference lang naman nila is yung AMD is best for the multitasking while the Intel is more faster when it comes to single core tasks. Mobile device processor. Processor for mobile computer also include technology to optimize and extend battery life and integrate wireless capabilities. Smaller mobile devices often use more compact processor that consume less power yet offer high performance. Just like personal computer, our mobile device also need processor. Why? Dahil ito yung nagsisilbing brain ng smartphone upang mag-function properly. It receives and executes every command and performance that you do in your smartphone. Starting from the opening apps, browsing the internet, playing movies or games, the camera, the music player, or even a simple email program. Bakit nga ba natin kailangan pumili ng best processor sa ating smartphone? Easy lang. The more na updated yung processor na meron yung mobile device natin, the more rin na mas magiging smoother and lag-free nating magagamit yung mobile device. Nakakilalang processor na meron ang mobile phone is the Snapdragon 865 Plus. It has an Adreno 650 GPU for graphics, whose speed is 10% more than before. Its CPU speed is from 2.84 GHz to 3.1 GHz, which is claimed to be the fastest speed ever. Next is how to select the right processor. First, determine your needs. In choosing the right processor, kailangan muna nating alamin kung ano nga ba yung kailangan natin, kung ano nga ba yung gusto natin ma-upgrade sa PC natin, and ano nga ba yung mga application that you're planning to run. For example, gusto mo lang naman gamitin sa PC mo is yung mga basic tasks such as web browsing, checking emails. Pwede ka nang gumamit ng less expensive processor. Kasi logic lang yan guys, kung hindi mo naman masyadong kailangan or gagamitin, ba't ka pa pipili ng pinakamahal or should I say, pinaka-upgraded na processor? Parang nagsayang lang tayo ganun. Kaya kailangan always determine first what your needs para masatisfy ka and hindi ka madidisappoint sa processor na mapipili mo. Next is determine your current processor. Kasi hindi ka naman makapalit ng panibagong processor if yung processor na meron ka is better and wala kang problema about doon. Parang sa relationship lang guys, ba't mo ipagpapalit or ba't ka maghahanap ng iba if you finally get the best? Di ba para ka lang tanga nun unless hindi ka marunong makontento? Knowing our current processor is my advantage for us user. Why? Kasi if you know your current processor, you can make sure na yung pipiliin mong processor is mas better and faster than the current processor na nagamit mo na. The last one is the research processor model. In choosing the right processor, hindi ka lang basta pipili sa kung ano lang yung pasok sa budget mo. Siyempre, kailangan mong mag-research para makatiyak ka na the best yung mapipili mong processor. First, visit the processor manufacturer's website and then verify if yung processor na yun is masasatisfy yung needs mo. After that, review the minimum system requirements on the programs and apps you wish to run. Pag napili mo na yung processor na exceeds the minimum system requirement of the program and apps you wish to run, you can choose it na. But always remember na hindi naman natin laging kailangan piliin yung pinakamahal na computer para ma-achieve natin yung faster processor. Processor cooling. Processor chips for laptops, desktops, and servers can generate quite a bit of heat, which could cause the chip to malfunction or fail. Although the power supply on some computers contain a main fan to generate airflow. Processor cooling is required. Why? Because it helps to remove the waste heat produced by the computer components and also to keep components within the permissible operating temperature limits. Components that are susceptible to temporary malfunction or permanent failure if overheated include integrated circuits such as central processing units or the CPU, chipsets, graphic cards, and hard disk drives. Here are some additional cooling that will help to remove the extra heat caused by the computer components. First is the heatsink. A heatsink is a small ceramic or metal component with pins on its surface that absorbs and disperses heat produced by the electrical components such as processor. Many heatsink have fans to help distribute air dissipated by the heatsink. We need heatsink because heatsink control the temperature around the lighting device and can be vital in facilitating a long working life for the product. Heatsink together with computer fans are widely used along with heatsink fans to reduce temperature by actively exhausting at here. There are also more exotic cooling techniques such as liquid cooling. Liquid cooling technology uses a continuous flow of fluids such as water and glycol in a process that transfers the heated fluid away from the processor to a radiator type grill, which cools the liquid and then returns the cool fluid to the processor. Liquid cooling is the best way to cool a CPU because water transfer heat much more efficiently than air. Bakit nga ba sinasabi nila na ang liquid cooling daw makes the PC quiet? Kasi di hamak naman na mas nakakapag-provide ng noise ang fans unlike sa liquid cooling na gumagamit ka lang naman ng liquid fluids such as water and glycol. All modern days, processors are designed to cut out or reduce their voltage or clock speed if the internal temperature of the processor exceeds a specified limit. This is generally known as thermal throttling. That is adjusting the clock speed of the CPU based on the amount of heat it is currently generating. Thermal throttling helps cool the chip when it gets too hot by lowering the speed. The last one is the cooling mats. A cooling fan rests below a laptop and protects the computer from overheating, and also the user's lap from excessive heat. Some cooling pads contain a small fan to transfer heat away from the laptop. These types of cooling pads often draw power from a USB port instead of using power. Other pads absorb heat through a conductive material inside the pad. The Internet of Things. The Internet of Things is the concept of basically connecting any device with an on and off switch to the Internet. Kasama na dito ang lahat ng bagay sa mundo that is connected to the technology. Includes from cell phones, coffee makers, washing machine, headphones, lamps, wearable device, and lahat ng bagay na maaaring i-connect sa Internet. Sa panahon ngayon, the Internet of Things become giant, meaning mas lumawak and mas lumaki yung sakop nito. Ngayon kasi it includes people, meaning the relationship will be between people to things, and things to things. Analysts predict that the Internet of Things will be a multi-trillion-dollar business as the number of smart devices and things connected to the Internet continues to increase, as watches, thermostats, fitness trackers, appliances, irrigation system, clothing, and other things become equipped with sensors that can transmit data to and from the Internet. Keep everything connected could become one of the world's largest industries. From device to things. Nowadays, hindi na lang basta computers and mobile device yung mga bagay na maaaring i-connect sa internet. Nowadays, may mga bagay na rin na maaaring i-connect sa internet gaya na lang ng mga sinabi ko kanina. For example, the thermostat. The thermostat is the regulating device component which senses the temperature of a physical system and performs action so that the system temperature is maintained near a desired set point. Nagiging connected siya sa internet because with the help of smartphone, pwede mo nang ma-adjust yung temperature ng bahay nyo kahit pa nasa ibang lugar ka as long as you have the app downloaded to your smartphone. The thermostat also contains a temperature sensor that can send and receive data. For example, a wireless chip na naka-attach sa iyong medicine bottle na maaaring mag-send ng text message na magpapaalala sa iyo na kailangan mo nang mag-take ng medicine mo. Next is the wearable technology such as smartwatches and wristband. Lahat naman tayo is familiar na sa smartwatches and we all know that day by day mas nagiging updated pa to. Sa simpleng pagsuot lamang natin is pwede nang matrack yung pulse and heart rate natin and also pwede rin itong maka-accept ng calls and display notification gaya sa kung ano yung na-provide ng smartphone. Technologies enable the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things brings together several recent technology developments, communication technologies such as Bluetooth, RFID tags, near-field communication tags, and sensor tracking heat, light, weight, or location have become readily available. Sensors and tags, like ng example ko kanina which is the thermostat, it can transmit messages to a server on the internet over a wireless network at frequent intervals of analysis and storage. Development in big data have made it possible to accept, store, and process all of this data reported by sensors efficiently. For example, many public buses and subway have GPS sensor na kung saan nakikita yung location nila na nakakatulong sa mga travelers na hindi masyadong familiar sa lugar, madali nilang nalolocate yung mga public buses and subways na meron yung place na yun. Next is yung pinakamadaling paraan ng pagbabayad ng mga consumer sa seller. Gumagamit yung seller ng beacon para siyang Bluetooth signals na nagna-notify sa customer kung sino yung mga gumagamit ng payment app like PayPal, GCash, ganon. The capability of computers device and everyday objects to communicate with one another over the internet has opened new possibilities for both consumers and the enterprise to be more productive, efficient, and informed. Cloud computing. Recall that cloud computing refers to an environment of servers that house and provide access to resources uses access via the internet. Ang cloud computing is the delivery of computing services, kasama na ang servers, storage, database, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence over the internet, which is the cloud. To offer faster innovation, flexible resources, and economies of scale. Bakit nga ba marami ang gumagamit ng cloud computing? First, cloud computing is accessibility. Ang mga data and application na meron ang cloud computing is available worldwide from any computer or device as long as you have the internet connection. Next is cloud computing is cost savings. Why? Because instead of actually purchasing expensive hardware and installing it on site, businesses can simply order up data, use or storage services through the cloud, and pay temporary access fees. Cloud computing is a space saving because it works by using at least one data server connected to the internet. When a user sends files over the internet to the data server, the cloud storage saves a copy. When the user wants to retrieve this information, they access the data server through a web-based interface. And lastly, the cloud computing is a scalability na kung saan nagprovide ng pinaka-flexible in a way it increase and decrease computing requirement as needed.
Advantages and services of cloud computing. Cloud computing refers to an environment of servers that provide access to resource users access by internet. Ang cloud computing ay maaari din nating tawaging servers or mga computer na ang purpose ay ang patakbuhin ang mga program at applications na siya namang tinatawag nating cloud services or cloud storage. There are reasons why home and business users choose cloud computing. First is accessibility. Its data and applications are available worldwide from any devices or computer. Pero para magamit mo ito, you need an internet connection. Then next is cost saving. It is cost saving because you no longer have to purchase expensive business software or hardware dahil mas mura ang mga features nito kumpara sa iba. Then next is, it is space saving. The cloud offers virtually unlimited storage capacity when compared to typical hard drive and server limits and is flexible. Then the last one is scalability, which is binabawasan or dinadagdagan nito yung requirements that needs in computing. Cloud computing consists of front-end and back-end that connected to each other through network. Front-end includes the hardware and software that helps the user to interact so he or she can access the cloud. Ang front-end is a network system which is that a user, client, or customer sees, while the back-end consists of the hard servers and storage devices that manage and store the resources accessed by users. Back-end is ito yung mga nangyayari behind the scenes that users cannot see, like processing of informations. Cloud computing services. Cloud computing allows companies to outsource or contract to third-party providers elements of their information technology infrastructure. Ilan lamang sa magagandang example ng cloud services ay ang online games, Google Documents, Skype, chat at kung ano pang software or program na ginagamitan ng internet. Ang ginagawa nito ay ang magbigay o mag-provide ng tools na maaari mong i-access maski sa ang computer nang walang nawawalang impormasyon. And it is based on a pay-as-you-go model. Why consumers and organizations trust cloud computing services? Consumers and organizations rely on cloud computing services because it helps them to manage IT infrastructure, provide applications, access online data, and create, test, and deploy applications using web-based development tools. There are four types of cloud computing services. One is infrastructure as a service, 2. Software as a service, 3. Data as a service, 4. Platform as a service. Ano nga ba? Its users can run any operating system or applications on the rented servers tang walang binabayaran. There are two specific instances of IaaS. First is storage as a service. Cloud storage is useful especially to tablets and smartphone users because it enables them to access their files to any devices. Cloud storage providers also offer file management services such as storing files online, system backup, and archiving or earlier versions of files. The next is desktop as a service. Some companies specify the applications, security settings, and computing resources available for their employees' desktop computers so that the employees can across an entire organization. It is also known as a virtual desktop. These images or configurations provide a common desktop for work environment available to employees across an entire organization because the desktop and its application appear to be installed on the user's own computer. Software as a service. It describes a computer environment where an internet server hosts and deploys applications. Salesforce is the pioneering provider of SaaS application. They offers customer relationship management software. It is a way of delivering applications over the internet. Sa SaaS, hindi mo na kinakailangan pang i-download yung mga applications that you want to use because you can access it via website with the use of internet. Data as a service. DaaS also data representation. People communicate through speech by combining words into sentence. Kung ang tawag sa human speech ay analog, sa computer man, it is called as digital. Data representation refers to the form in which data is stored, processed, and transmitted. Most computers are digital. It is recognized only two discrete states which is the on and off. The two digits 0 and 1 easily can represent these two states. For example, dito sa picture, the electronic state off represent the digit 0, while the electronic state on represent the digit 1. Bits and bytes. Sa binary, when people count, they use the 10 digits in the decimal system, which is 0 to 9. So, halos lahat naman tayo is may idea kung paano magbilang using decimal system since naturo naman yan sa comprog natin. So, binary system is a system that has just two unique digits 0 and 1, which is called bits. Bytes provides enough combinations of zeros and ones to represent 256 characters such as numbers, upper and lower case of alphabet, punctuation marks, and other keyboard symbols like asterisk, ampersand, and dollar sign. Coding schemes. Coding schemes is a combinations of zeros and ones are defined by patterns called a coding scheme. It is a map of a set of alphanumeric characters, which is letters and numbers of special symbols to a sequence of numeric values that a computer can process. ASCII, which stands for American Standard for Coding Information Interchange, is the most widely used coding scheme to represent a set of characters. When you press a key on a keyboard, a chip in the keyboard converts the key's electronic signal into a special code, which is called a scan code. It is sent to the electronic circuitry in the computer. Then yung electronic circuitry in the computer naman will convert the scan code into its ASCII binary form and store it as a byte value in its memory for processing. Kapag natapos na ang processing, the computer will convert the byte into a human recognizable number, letter of the alphabet, or a special character na makikita sa screen or when it's printed. Next is, these are the steps on how is a letter converted.
Hi everyone, I'm John Tyler Martison. I'm here to share an idea and knowledge for explaining how program and application structure transfer in and out of memory. Memory consists of electronic components that store instruction waiting to be executed by the processor, data needed by those instructions, and the result of the processing the data, information. In addition, we have types of memory. Computers and mobile devices contain two types of memory, volatile and non-volatile. When the computer's power is turned off, volatile memory loses its contents. Non-volatile memory, by contrast, does not lose its contents when power is removed from the computer. Thus, volatile memory is temporary and non-volatile memory is permanent. RAM is the most common type of volatile memory. Example of non-volatile memory include ROM, flash memory, and CMOS. Furthermore, let's go and tackle about how program instructions transfer in and out of RAM. When you start a computer, certain operating system files are loaded into RAM from the hard drive. The operating system displays the user interface on the screen. As you can see in the picture, we have hard drive into operating system instructions and RAM for operating system interface. Next is step 2. When you run a browser, the application instructions are loaded into RAM from the hard drive. The browser and certain operating system instructions are in RAM. The browser window appears on the screen. As you can see in the picture, we have hard drive, browser instructions, RAM, and browser window. Next is step 3. When you run a Paint application, the application's instructions are loaded into RAM from the hard drive. The Paint applications along with the browser and certain operating system instructions are in the RAM. The Paint applications windows appear on the screen. As you can see in the picture, we have Paint application instructions, hard drive, the RAM, and browser and Paint application window. Lastly, the step 4. When you exit an application such as the browser, its instructions are removed from RAM. The browser no longer displayed on the screen. As you can see in the picture, we have the RAM, browser instructions are removed from the RAM, and lastly, browser window no longer displayed on the desktop. And next, let's tackle about two types of RAM. We have dynamic RAM and static RAM. Dynamic RAM chips must be re-energized constantly or they lose their contents. Next, the static RAM. Chips are faster and more reliable than any variation of RAM chips. Here's the common drum variation. Drum or synchronous drum, synchronized to the system clock, much faster than drum. Next, we have DDR-S drum, double data rate drum, transfer data twice instead for once for each clock cycle, faster than drum. Next, we have DDR2, second generation of DDR, faster than DDR. And next, we have DDR3, third generation of DDR, designed for computers with multi-core processors, faster than DDR2. And next, we have DDR4, fourth generation of DDR, faster than DDR3. We have RDRAM, Rambus DRAM, much faster than SDRAM. In addition, RAM chips usually reside on a memory module, which is a small circuit board. Memory slots on the motherboard hold memory modules. We have two types of memory modules. We have SIM and DIMMs. SIM stands for Single Inline Memory Module, has pins on opposite sides of the circuit board that connect together to form a single set of contacts. And also we have the DIMM, Dual Inline Memory Module. By contrast, the pins on the opposite sides of the circuit board do not connect and thus form two sets of contacts. Let's move on. Let's go to differentiate among the various types of memory RAM, cache, ROM, memory, and CMOS. Dahil nauna natin ang memory RAM at ROM, magpatuloy na tayo muli sa cache. Cache, most today's computers improve their processing times with cache. Pronouns cache, which is temporary storage area. We have also the two common types of cache, are memory cache and disk cache. Memory cache helps speed the process of the computer because it stores frequently used instructions and data. Most personal computers today have two types of memory cache. We have level 1 cache that build directly on the processor chips. Level 1 cache usually has a very small capacity. Level 2 cache is slightly slower than level 1. But level 2 cache have also a larger capacity than level 1. Current processors include Advanced Transfer Cache or ATC, a type of level 2 cache that built directly on the processor chip. And we have the L3 cache that separates chips between the processor and RAM, slower than L1 and L2 cache. And we have the RAM, slower access than L1, L2 and L3 cache. Next, we have the ROM, or read-only memory, refers to memory chips storing permanent data and instructions. The data on most ROM chips cannot be modified. ROM is non-volatile, which means its contents are not lost when power is removed from the computer. In addition, computer mobile devices, many peripheral devices that contain ROM chips. For example, ROM chips in printers contain data for fonts. Manufacturers of ROM chips often record data, instructions, or information on the chips when they manufacture the chips. These ROM chips, called firmware, contains permanently written data, instructions, or information such as computer or mobile devices startup instructions. And next, we have the flash memory. Flash memory is a type of non-volatile memory that can erase electronically and rewritten. Most computers use flash memory to hold their startup instructions because it allows the computer to update its contents easily. For example, when the computer changes from the standard time to daylight savings time, the contents of flash memory chip, the real-time clock chip change to reflect the new time. Flash memory chips also store data and programs on many mobile devices and peripheral devices such as smartphones, portable media players, printers, digital camera, and automatic devices. Lastly, we have the digital voice recorder. When you enter names and addresses in a smartphone, for example, flash memory chip stores the data. Some portable media players store music on the flash memory chips. Others store music on tiny hard drives or memory cards. Memory cards contain flash memory on a removable devices instead of a chip. Next, we have the CMOS. Some RAM chips, flash memory chips, use complementary metal oxide semiconductor technology because it provides high speeds and consumes little power. CMOS technology uses battery power to retain information even when the power to the computer is off. Battery-backed CMOS memory chips, for example, can keep the calendar date and time in current even when the computer is off. The flash memory chips that stores the computer startup information often the use of CMOS technology.
Hello everyone. Now let's talk about the purpose of adapter cards and USB adapters. So first, what is adapter? An adapter is a device that allows a specific type of hardware to work with another device that would otherwise be incompatible. So, yung adapter, it can be either hardware component or software component na nag-aalaw ng two or more incompatible devices para mag-link together for the purpose of transmitting and receiving data. Nagbibigay ito ng compatible na connection between the components of a system. There are 10 types of adapters. First is host adapter, adapter card, video adapter or card, busmaster adapter, general purpose interface adapter, fax adapter, network adapter, terminal adapter, channel-to-channel adapter, and resource adapters. Both software and hardware adapters is pwedeng magamit sa iba't ibang devices such as mobile phones, personal computers, servers, and telecommunication networks. Although, yung ibang computers na ginagamit ngayon is nagre-require na ng additional capabilities ng adapter. Like, desktops and servers use adapter cards. Gumagamit na siya ng adapter cards. So, ano nga ba yung adapter cards? Adapter cards are sometimes called expansion card or adapter boards. It is a circuit board that enhances the functions of a component of a desktop or server system unit and provides connections to peripheral devices. Adapter card, isa siyang circuit board na may install mo doon sa computer mo, which is, siya yung nag-aalaw sa computer mo makipag-communicate with other peripheral devices. Yung purpose nito is mas mapapagana mo yung computer mo sa pamamagitan na nag-a-add ka pa ng iba pang controllers para sa mga specific devices. Or kaya sa pamamagitan na napapalitan nito ang mga hindi gumagana na ports. Next, expansion slot. Expansion slot, isa siyang socket doon sa motherboard na ginagamit para ma-insert mo yung expansion card. Which is, nagpa-provide siya ng additional features sa computer such as video, sound, advanced graphics, Ethernet, or memory. Next is video card. Video card is also called graphic card. Integrated circuit na nag-generate sa video signal na nagta-travel through a cable papunta sa monitor. It contains a graphic processing unit or GPU, which is isa siyang processor na gumagawa ng images, ng digital to analog, and memory chips that store display data. Next is sound card. Sound card, isa siyang internal expansion card na nagpo-provide ng input and output audio signal sa computer. Yung sound card, nag-e-enhance siya ng sound generating capability sa computer, which is nag-a-allow siya ng sound sa input like microphones and sa output like speakers and headphones. Next is motherboard. Motherboard, isa siyang printed circuit board and foundation na nag-aalaw ng communication sa pagitan ng CPU, RAM, at iba pang bahagi ng computer hardware components. Motherboard is the backbone that ties the computer's components together at one spot. Kung wala ito, wala sa computer pieces such as GPU, CPU, or hard drive ang mag-interact. Next. Next is some types of adapter card and their purposes. One is Bluetooth. Bluetooth enables Bluetooth connectivity. Bluetooth is a short-range wireless communication technology na nare-replace yung mga cables na nakakonect sa electronic devices. It allows a person na gumamit ng mobile devices sa pakikipag-usap sa pamamagitan ng headset or gumamit ng isang wireless mouse. Next is MIDI. MIDI connects to musical instruments. MIDI means Musical Instrument Digital Interface. Inaalaw nito yung electronic musical instruments na makipag-communicate sa computer. Example nito is yung keyboard na instrument. Next is modem. Modem connects to transmission media such as cable televisions lines, or phone lines. Modem is a short for modulator, demodulator. Ito ay isang bahagi ng hardware na nag-aalaw sa isang computer or ibang devices tulad ng router or switch para makonect sa internet. Kino-convert nito or kinokontrol nito ang isang analog signal mula sa isang telephone or cable wire sa digital data na ma-recognize ng computer. Next is network. Network provide network connections such as to an Ethernet port. Network, nagko-consist ito ng two or more computers that are linked in one to share resources. Network, nagko-consist ito ng two or more computers that are linked in order to share resources such as printers and CDs. Nag-e-exchange siya ng files or nag-aalaw siya ng electronic communication. Yung computer, isang network Yung computer sa isang network is pwedeng mag-link together through cables, telephone lines, radio waves, satellites, or infrared light beams. May two common type yung network. Ito yung local area network or LAN and wide area network or WAN. Local area network, isa siyang computer network na naka-interconnect sa mga computer sa loob ng isang limited area such as residence, school, laboratory, university campus, or office building. Yung function ng local area network is para mag-link together yung mga computers at mag-provide ng shared access sa printers, files, at iba pang services. Local area networks is categorized as peer-to-peer or client-server. Wide area network ay isang large network of information na hindi nakatali lang sa isang single location. Yung wide area network, maaari niyang mapadali yung pakikipag-communicate and sharing information sa pagitan ng mga devices from around the world through one provider. Next is sound. Sound connects to speakers or a microphone. Sound is a type of energy made by vibration. So, ang mga computer, yung mga computer bumubuo ng tunog gamit ang isang sound card na nako-connect sa headphones or speakers upang maging output yung tunog. Next is TV tuner. TV tuner allows viewing of digital television broadcast on a monitor. TV tuner is a kind of television tuner na nag-aalaw ng television signal para ma-receive ng isang computer. Karamihan sa mga TV tuner gumagamit rin ng gumagana rin as a video capture card. Inaalaw nito na mag-record ng mga television program sa isang hard disk katulad ng ginagawa ng digital video recorder or DVR. Next is USB. USB connects to high-speed USB ports. So, USB ginagamit siya para ma-attach yung keyboard, mouse, printers, external storage, and mobile device sa computer. Ginagamit din ito para sa pag-charge ng mga portable products. Next is video. Video provides enhanced graphics capabilities such as accelerated processing or the ability to connect a second monitor. Video or video clip is a series of electronic signals na ginagamit para makabuo ng isang still images which simulate movement. Maaaring gamit ng video ang mga graphics, picture, text, and gamit din sa entertainment, education, or other purposes. Next is video capture. Video capture connects to a digital camera. Video capture is siyang internal or external device na kumokonect sa computer or device sa isang video camera na capable sa pagkuha ng video signal. Capable din ito sa pag-connect sa isang stored video format at inaalaw ka na mag-store, modify, and show video sa computer. Today's computers support plug-and-play technology, which means the computer automatically can recognize peripheral devices as you install them. So, plug and play, inaalaw yung computer mo na ma-recognize yung peripheral devices at pwede na gamitin agad after ma-install. This support permits computer na kumonek at makipag-communicate sa mga devices easily. Pero meron rin siyang security flaws na inaalaw yung hackers na makontrol yung security system, routers, smart TV, printers, webcam, at iba pang devices na connected sa internet. Next, USB adapter. USB adapter is a network or communications controller that plugs into a computer via the USB port. It may refer to an Ethernet adapter, Bluetooth adapter, or serial or parallel port adapter. Such devices are used to retrofit older computers with the new technology or a new computer with legacy technology. USB adapter, dahil sa smaller size nito, yung mobile computers, wala na silang expansion slot. Instead, users can purchase a USB adapter na kung saan it is a dongle that plugs into a USB port. Ine-enhance nito ang functions ng mobile computer or nagpo-provide ng connection sa peripheral devices. USB adapter, ginagamit siya to add memory communication, multimedia security, and storage capabilities sa mobile computers. So, the USB adapter can be used to add memory communications, multimedia security, and storage capabilities to mobile computers. A USB flash drive is a common USB adapter that provides computers and mobile devices with additional storage capability as long as it is plugged in. USB flash drive is common USB adapter na nagpo-provide ng computer and mobile devices na may additional storage capabilities as long as naka-plug in ito. So, hindi tulad ng adapter cards na kailangan mo pang buksan yung system unit mo para makabit mo yung card sa motherboard. Pwede mo nang palitan ang removable flash memory device nang hindi mo na kailangan buksan yung system unit o i-restart ang computer. This feature called boot plugging. Boot plugging allows you to insert and remove a device while the computer is running. So, boot plugging, inaalaw ka na mag-insert at mag-remove ng device while the computer is running. Pero, be sure na na-eject mo na sa device bago mo tanggalin ito. Next. Should manufacturers eliminate proprietary connectors? Proprietary connectors, kung kailangan mong palitan yung cable na nakakonect sa mobile device mo na may iba't ibang models and prices, yung ibang devices ay nagre-require na ng paggamit ng proprietary connectors. Nililimitahan nito ang options mo para dun sa mga manufacturers na gumagawa ng connectors na tumutugma sa port ng mobile device mo. For example, nung nag-release yung Apple ng iPhone 5, nagre-require ito ng proprietary connector na incompatible sa mga nauna pang iPhone models and other Apple devices. Next, function of a bus. Buses. Buses is a in computer architecture, a bus is a communication system that transfers data between components inside the computer or between computers. This expression covers all related hardware components and software, including communication protocols. Buses are circuits on the motherboard that connect the CPU to other components. There are many buses on the motherboard. A bus moves instructions and data around the system. The speed of a bus is measured in megahertz or MHz. The faster the bus, the faster data is communicated. Buses, ginagamit ito para mag-transfer ng data signals or power between processor and other components. Inaalaw nito yung various devices both inside at mag-attach at ma-attach sa system unit para makipag-communicate with one another. Yan, bus allows the various devices both inside and attached to the system unit to communicate with one another. Just as vehicles travels on a highway to move from one direction to another, bits travels on a bus. So, next. Buses consist of a data bus and an address bus. Data bus used to transfer actual data. Address bus used to transfer information about where the data should reside in memory. Bus width. The size of a bus, called the bus width, determines the number of bits that the computer can transmit at one time. Bus width refers to the number of bits. So, tumutukoy siya sa bilang ng mga bits na pwedeng mag-send dun sa CPU ng sabay-sabay. So, for example, 32 bits bus can transmit 32 bits or 4 bytes at a time. Yung 64-bit bus can transmit from 64 bits 8 bytes at a time. The larger the number, yun din yung the larger the number of bits na nahahandle ng bus is kasing bilis na pag-transfer ng data sa computer. Kung ang isang number sa memory ay nag-occupies ng 8 bytes or 64 bits, yung computer must transmit in two separate steps when using 32-bit bus. Once for the first 32 bits and once for the second 32 bits. Gamit yung 64-bit na bus, pwedeng mag-transmit ng computer yung number in a single step lang. Magta-transfer ka ng all 64 bits at one time. So, yan. In conjunction with the bus width, many computer professionals refer to a computer's word size. So, what is word size? Word size is a number of bits the processor can interpret and execute at a given time. That is, a 64-bit processor can manipulate 64 bits at a time. So, yung word size, nagre-refer siya sa amount of data na CPU's internal data na pwedeng mag-hold and process at one time. Computers with a larger word size can process more data in the same amount of time than computers with a smaller word size. The larger the word, the faster the computer calculates and compares. However, yung speed na nag-i-increase, nakadepende siya sa size and data na ika-calculate. In most computers, the word size is the same as the bus width. How is bus speed measured? So, ayun nga, mini-measure siya sa kung ano ang laki. Sa kung paano yung laki niya. Types of buses. Types of buses are system bus, also called the front side bus or FSB. It is a part of a motherboard and connects the processor to main memory. System bus, kinokonekta nito yung, hindi, mali. Yung system bus, also called siya as front side bus. Kumokonek ito sa computer processor papunta sa system memory or RAM and other components sa motherboard. Yung components na yun are chipset, AGP card, PCI devices, and other peripherals. Dahil sa FSB or front side bus, nagsaserve ito ng main path sa processor papunta sa motherboard. Next is backside bus. Backside bus connects the processor to cache. Yung backside bus is kumokonek siya sa CPU sa level 2 cache. Nag-uugnay ito ng dalawang chips sa parehong rate ng orasan tulad ng CPU mismo. Kinokonek ng backside bus yung dalawang chips sa bilis ng processor. This means yung backside bus nagra-run siya sa full speed of the CPU. Next is expansion bus. Expansion bus allows the processor to communicate with other peripheral devices. Expansion bus isa siyang assortment ng mga wire na nag-aalaw para sa computer expansion with the use of expansion board. Isang printed na circuit board na nakapasok sa isang expansion slot doon sa motherboard or backplane na nagpo-provide ng additional features sa computer system. When computer professional use the term bus by itself, they usually are referring to the system bus.
Today, I am going to talk about proper care for computer and mobile devices. Hardware maintenance. Caring for a computer or mobile device requires keeping hardware in a good condition. It's testing and cleaning of equipment. Mahalaga ito para mas tumagal ang isang device dahil isa rin sa mga dahilan na mabilis na pagkasira ng computer or mobile device ay madumi or maalikabok. There are ways on how to clean computer or mobile device properly. First is, all hardware maintenance should be performed in an area that is clean. Water is sufficient to remove the dust and most dirt. Tsaka, kailangan din dapat na mag-perform ka sa malinis na area. Syempre kasi, nililinis mo na siya. Tsaka, para wala na rin kumapit na dirt sa hardware device na nililinis mo. Second is, use a damp cloth to clean the screen gently. Third is, if a computer or mobile device has a keyboard, use a can of compressed air to free the keyboard from any dirt and debris that might risk of getting inside the computer or mobile device. When using compressed air, hold the can upright and not an angle or upside down when dispensing the air. Holding the can at an angle or upside down can cause the can to dispense a very cold liquid instead of air, which can damage components into your computer or mobile device. Yung itsura ng compressed air is yung parang tulad sa mga pabango ng bench, yung can style. Pero yung kinaibahan lang is mataba siya ng konti. Then yung compressed air, Tapos may parang stick siya doon na medyo mahaba. Doon lumalabas yung hangin. Fourth is, if you are using mobile device, protect it with case. A case will protect the device better in the event you drop it and may make it easier for you to grip or hold the device while using it. Tulad ng case natin sa cellphone, napoprotect niya yung phone kasi hindi direct yung impact niya sa mismong CP kasi may case na nakalagay. Fifth is, if the computer or mobile device has an air vent where a fan removes heat, make sure the vent is free of dust and debris. A black vent can prohibit heat or from escaping, which ultimately can cause the computer or mobile devices to overheat. If the air vent is dirty, contact a trained professional to have it cleaned properly. Improper cleaning of an air vent can result in more debris entering the computer or mobile device. Nakakatulong yung air vent tulad sa computer is yung CPU pa. Nakakatulong yun para hindi mag-overheat yung system unit. Pero kung madumi naman yung air vent, magkakos pa rin yun ng overheat. At dapat pinapalinis yun sa mga professional kasi pag di yun nalinisan ng maayos, mag-overheat pa rin yun. At baka yun pa yung maging dahilan ng pagkasira ng computer nyo. 6 is, when you insert flash drive, be sure the flash drive is clean. Inserting dirt media or flash drive can damage a computer or mobile device's internal components. Siyempre, papasok yung dirt once na in-insert mo yung flash drive. Kaya i-assure na malinis yung flash drive. Even charger sa mobile device, dapat chine-check nyo kung madumi. Kasi para hindi yun maging dahilan ng pagkasira. Software maintenance. Maintaining the software on your computer and mobile device can help them run optimally. Software maintenance is the updating of proper system and application program in order to add new function and change data formats. It also includes fixing bugs and adapting the software to new hardware devices. Siyempre, always assure that yung software, computer, or mobile device is clean para di natin nararanasan yung pagkalag at saka yung nagkakaroon ng virus. Also, in software maintenance, there are ways on how to clean it. First is, uninstall programs and remove apps you no longer need on your computer or mobile devices. These programs and apps can consume significant amount of space on your storage, medium, and decrease the performance of your computer or mobile device. Para hindi ma-full storage yung device natin, dapat ina-install natin yung mga apps or documents na hindi naman kailangan at para ma-install or ma-save yung mga importante. Second is, if you are using a desktop or laptop with a hard disk, defragment the computer's hard disk if you notice a decline in the computer's performance. Defragmentation, also known as defrag or defragging, is the process of reorganizing the data stored on the hard drive so the related pieces of data are put back together. Third is, install program and apps only from reputable software manufacturers. In addition, make sure you are installing the program or app from original installation media, the software manufacturer website, or your mobile device app store, or maybe in marketplace. You also should read reviews from program and apps before you download or install them to make sure the program or app will meet your needs. Dapat pag i-install kayo ng apps, dapat i-assure nyo na legitimate yung ini-install nyo. At dapat binabasa nyo yung mga reviews ng mga taong nagda-download na nung app na yun para iwas virus din. And the next topic is an anti-static wristband. An anti-static wristband is a bracelet designed to protect electronics from electrostatic discharge by preventing a buildup of static electricity on a user. The wristband has an attached clip that you connect to any barely metal surface which acts as a ground. An anti-static wrist strap, also called as electrostatic discharge wrist strap or ESD, is a safety device worn on your wrist that prevent the buildup of static electricity. ESD straps are primarily used when working with electronic components. When properly worn, the highly conductive threads that make up the strap direct static electricity to a ground where it can be discharged safely. This protects the component from damage and keep the wearer safe. Here's some steps on how to use a electrostatic wrist strap. First is, choose a wired strap to ground yourself. By the way, there are two kinds of ESD straps. Those that have cord or wire you use to connect yourself to a ground, and those that are wireless. However, testing performed by NASA revealed that wireless straps were ineffective to prevent potential discharges. Second is, wrap the anti-static wrist strap around your wrist. Before you come into contact with ESD sensitive items, put the ESD strap around your wrist and snap it close. All parts of the strap should be in direct contact with your skin at all times. Third is, attach the other end of the strap to a common ground. At the other end of the cord attached to your wrist strap is an alligator clip or a clip that you can use to connect yourself to a common ground. At a static-free workstation, a common ground point will be noted by symbol that look like a black and white target. There may simply be a sign that say common ground. Tulad ng nasa screen, di ba may saksakan na tatluhan for computers? May tamang signs kung saan mo ilalagay yung dulo or saan mo i-clip yung ESD wrist strap. Hindi siya basta-basta kiniklip kung saan-saan. Sa nakikita nyo sa screen, ayan yung examples kung saan nyo pwede i-clip yung kabilang dulo ng anti-static wrist strap. Fourth is, clip your strap to a metal part if no common ground is available. If you're working at home or an informal environment, you may not have a common ground point. In that case, clip to a metal of the computer you are working on, such as computer case or the power supply. I-clip mo siya dun sa may banda sa case, power supply or hard drive. Fifth is, wear your ESD strap whenever your ESD sensitive items. Anytime you are holding or working with the computer components such as motherboards or video cards that are not installed in the computer case, keep yourself grounded. Otherwise, electrostatic discharge could damage those components. And the next topic is protect and replace screens. One way to protect the screens on your mobile device is to use a screen protector. It's a thin plastic film that adheres to the screen of your device. Adheres means to stick. Sa madaling salita, is yung screen protector na nasa cellphone natin. While screen protectors may not protect the screen if you drop your device or an object impact it with excessive force, it will protect the screen from minor scratches obtained through normal use. Screen protectors can often purchase from the same place you bought your mobile device and also are available online. If you cannot find a screen protector that is exact same size as the screen on your mobile device, you can purchase a larger one and then trim it to fit your screen. Next is, screen replacement should be attempted only by advanced users. Third is, if you are uncomfortable following this step, seek help from a trained professional. Here's some steps on how to replace a screen. First is, back up the data on your phone on your mobile device before starting a screen replacement. While a successful screen replacement should be threatened the data, it is a good idea to keep a backup in case a problem arises unexpectedly. Second is, turn off the mobile device and disconnect it from all power sources. If the device uses a removable battery, remove it. Third is, protect your hand and eyes before beginning glass replacement. Syempre, safety first. Fourth is, if the possible, carefully remove all pieces of broken glass. Consider using compressed air to remove any dust para wala na rin matirang maliliit na basag na galing sa screen ng cellphone mo. Fifth is, remove the display assembly refers to your devices. Documentation for information about removing the display. You may need a small non-magnetic screwdriver and metal or plastic tool to remove the assembly. You need to disassemble the display to put the new screen easily. 6 is, unpack the old screen and put the new screen, then connect it to the mobile device. And the last step is, reassemble the mobile device, reconnect the power source and or the battery, and turn on the device. Siyempre, titignan mo muna kung may ibang nagalaw or baka nawala yung file, and much better kung walang magagalaw, tulad ng pagka-reboot or pagkawala ng mga files and apps. Kaya sa unang step, mahalaga talaga magkaroon ng backup files para in case may magalaw o mawala na importante dun sa mobile, maisalba mo. In the last part, meron dun consider this question. Why you might replace a cracked screen instead of replacing the entire mobile device? For me kasi, it depends yung sagot dyan. Depende sa sitwasyon. Lalo na ngayong pandemic, syempre, yung budget mo is, malay mo yung budget lang nun is enough lang for replacing a screen lang. Diba? Pero kung may budget ka naman, why not? Ba't hindi ka bumili ng bagong cellphone? Kasi ngayon kasi, importante talaga yung cellphone kasi lahat is online na. Katulad ng online class, online shopping, at kung ano-ano pa. Kaya talaga mahalaga yung cellphone ngayon. Ngayon time ng pandemic. Kaya, kung ayun talaga yung budget, wala talagang magagawa. Pero kung meron naman, edi bumili ng bago. Diba? It depends yung sagot. Thank you, and we are Group 6. And thank you for listening. Hope you all learned a lot from our group.